Now, you remember the movie with Jack Nicholson, A Few Good Men? We live in a world of walls, and those walls need to be guarded by men with guns. Okay, really bad Jack Nicholson, but you get it. Colonel Jessup was the character. He was talking about national security, but the same sentiment could be easily applied to the walls of your home or your business. Too bad the biggest news surrounding your Second Amendment rights is bad news today. The most significant Second Amendment case in years. Washington, D.C.'s gun ban is headed for the Supreme Court for review. The result will have national impact. Now, here's the news. How do the presidential candidates respond to a possible restriction of your Second Amendment rights? According to this morning's USA Today, Hillary Clinton has dropped her support for the licensing of new gun owners and registration of new guns. Barack Obama also says he no longer supports a broad licensing and registering of firearms like he did when he was in the Illinois Senate. Even the Bush administration is softening its pro-gun stance. Anchor for ABC News 2020, John Stossel, knows this better than most people. Please tell me, John, get it through the American people's head, it does not reduce crime to take away guns.
There's certainly no evidence that it has. The National Academy of Sciences has looked for it. All these different jurisdictions have different gun laws, and they are yet to find any law that reduced crime.
Does it drive you crazy, John, that you see, for instance, up in Illinois, when that kid came out from behind the curtains and then took the time to look at everybody, then fire off rounds, then reload, I see this story and I say, these kids are sitting ducks. If I were in that classroom and I had a license to carry, I would have been able to hide behind a chair and shoot him and save lives.
And that has happened in several cases where a shooter was picking people off, but the media just tend not to report that.
Give me a case of that, John.
The Appalachian Law School case. 2 students subdued the shooter because they had guns on them. And once I asked all the presidential candidates in the last election, let's talk about gun laws, and the only one who came was Al Sharpton. But it was fun in that I could ask him, what would life be like if it was legal for an adult to carry a concealed weapon, any adult? And he said it would be a nightmare. There would be terror in the streets. And most of the people with whom I work feel that way. It's the liberal media, and as a former government-loving lefty who's finally become a libertarian, it was one of the toughest things for me to accept, to know that in most states it is legal to carry a gun on your person. And those states have no more crime.
Yeah.
Because the criminals know if they rob somebody, he might be packing.
Well, here's what kills me. And tell me where I'm wrong on this. I think, in front of my house, it says, got a security system, got a guard dog, blah, blah, blah. Basically, that tells anybody who's going to think about robbing my house, you got some, some hoops to jump through.
Pick another house.
Yeah, right. These gun-free zones, doesn't this say, nobody here to stop you?
It is an invitation, and there's some evidence that some of these shooters have paid attention to that and knowingly went to places where it said gun-free zone, free to shoot people zone.
Any indication at all where you think the Supreme Court is going? I was horrified when I saw that Hillary Clinton said she's not for any new licensing of guns. That's horrifying.
I would never speculate where the Supremes will go. It's interesting that it's the Washington gun law case that they're looking at, and Washington is another example where they passed much tougher gun laws, and gun crime went up afterward.
Because the people who want to have guns will get guns. I don't know how
We've interviewed for 2020 guys in the pen talking about these gun laws, and they say, look, we don't care about the laws. We're criminals. We'll get guns.
There's drugs are banned in prison. You can get drugs in prison. Criminals are criminals. I read a poll today shows 73% of Americans say that it is their right to own a gun. I talked today to my radio audience. People called in on the radio audience from all over the country, from cities, from rural areas. They all said, government's not taking away my right to own a gun. If the Supreme Court would go against what the American people feel about guns, any idea what would happen?
I think it's a fatal conceit to predict the future. I'll stick to reporting what I know.
You're no fun, John Stossel.
No fun on that.
No fun at all. All right, sir, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, I could talk all day long. You know, what I think it means when it comes to your Second Amendment rights, but one politician has said it better than anyone else. Quote, all men are born free, independent. They have certain natural, essential, and unalienable rights. Among them, which may be reckoned, is the right of enjoying and defending their lives in liberty. That politician, by the way, John Adams, our second president.